understood also that most and all of us have some idea about butterflies hatching and them coming to life. But also um, we kind of notice something that may be misunderstood by others, that when we see somebody stuck somewhere, we give our helping hand to them. And this is a good human quality, and this is always appreciated. And then knowing when to help and when not to help, thing is what was highlighted as part of this discussion. So butterfly needed more time to fly, to develop its wings. And in the same way, the Kunjal story showed that somebody thought that someone is stuck somewhere and went and helped. In that helping, there was more damage, unintentional damage. Sometimes it was not intended. It was just a lack of knowledge of somebody when that person went to help. So I think we need to kind of weigh both aspects, wanting to help and also knowing when to help, and kind of still keeping your attitude, keeping your good attitude toward, with attitudes is sometimes like don't throw me attitudes. This is like, this is considered something uh, not good in the society, but keeping good intentions, perhaps, we cannot ask from a butterfly like, do you need help? So then we need little knowledge about the area. So I think everybody needs to know everything a little bit. And in that, we can keep an uncluttered mind that will support us in making decisions. I'm going to take you, I'm not sure, please answer me when I ask this question. Has anyone shared the Carpenter story in this discussion, in any of the previous discussions? If not, um, I like to share it, but please let me know. This is
I
also.
have, yeah, I have
Mhm.
not heard it, Bante.
Hmm. Okay. I take the pride of bringing a new story to the discussion. All right. So the Carpenter story connects with making right decisions in our life, and also doing our work that has no flaws, no faults. So this involves everybody's life, children, uh, also parents, and those who have occupations. So listen very carefully. There was an elderly carpenter. He was ready to retire, and he told his boss of he went to his boss and said, "It's time for me to retire, and I'm going to go live with my wife. I'm going to have some time with the extended family in the mountains." But this carpenter has been a very loyal worker. His work was the best, the qualitiest, perfect work. So he gave the perfect workmanship, and he also looked after his apprentice, those who came to help him. So in a work situation, normally you find a boss, you find workers who are very loyal, who do a perfect job, and also workers who are good with others. Those who come to support you, you look after them very well, and you don't hurt them. And so the boss was very sad, very sorry to hear that this carpenter was getting retired. And he asked if he could just do one last project. And the carpenter reluctantly agreed. He said, okay, if I have to do it, I will do it. And the carpenter was told to build another house, and was told to take as much time as needed. But this carpenter was in a hurry to get retired, so he used inferior materials and he built the house in a short time, not doing a perfect job. And at the end, the boss came to the finished house. The house was finished. It looked as though it is just another house built by someone, but when it comes to this carpenter, he has been doing perfect jobs, but this house didn't look like it was built properly. Um, in any case, when the boss went with the keys to the house, and he said to the carpenter that, this is my gift for you. Thank you for all your dedication to build our company and for the work you have brought to us and the work you have done. So the carpenter was really shocked. He was like, "What a shame!" So he wasn't expecting this outcome. So he would have done a perfect job had he known that this was the house he was going to live for the rest of his life. And in the same way, so you know, it is our life that we are also building. We build our own lives in a distracted way, cluttered way, reacting rather than acting, willing to put up less than the best. At important points, we do not give the job our best effort. Then, with a shock, we look at the situation we have created. You are the one who created that situation, and find that we are not living in the house we have built. The house we have built is our own life, and this life is what we bring to your workplace. This life is what you bring to your car. This life is what you bring to your children. This life is what you bring to school. This life is what you bring to your friends. This life is what you bring to anybody and everybody in the society. So we find that we are now living in the house we have built. If we had realized, we would have, if we had realized that this is the kind of house, the bad house sometimes that we would live in, then we would have built it differently. Sometimes it is too late when you find out that you have already built the house to live in and there is barely anything to change. It can be destructive to you psychologically, socially, spiritually, and mentally. Therefore, I would begin with saying that you have to build the house very carefully. So, in Mangala Sutta, this is the discourse on good omens. The Buddha says, Anakulacha kammanta. Kammanta is your occupations, any job that you do, studying to really working in a profession. These need to be unagitated, anakula. Akula means agitated. Anakula means not agitated, not like flawless, clean work. Blameless occupations also. The blameless occupations is anavajjani kammani. Kammani again refers to the jobs that you choose, and if it is a blameless occupation, if you happen to sell liquor, that is blameworthy. If you happen to sell meat, that is blameworthy. If you happen to sell weapons, that is blameworthy. If you happen to do um, uh, human trafficking, like selling humans or even selling animals, this is blameworthy. So all these are blameworthy businesses that you can avoid doing, avoid supporting. But sometimes you may be working for a company that is about animal um, conservative society or something like that. Somebody came and asked me, I am working for as an IT professional for that company, but what they do is they go out there and kill the animals to control animals in certain habitats. And I said, well, your intention is not to kill and try to not support any killing aspects, and try to educate people as much as possible that you are not in any position to take control of anybody's lives, and try to also leave the place and find a work that does not give you this kind of a question. So when you are choosing your profession, you will need to think carefully whether you are doing a job that is harmful to others, harmful to oneself, that gives you doubts about your own existence in society. When you have found out, make sure you make the right decision patiently without being agitated with any situation. So, when you have jobs that are left unfinished, this is a burden on you. You procrastinate on things and then you get stressed about it. You don't complete the work proper in the proper time. You don't know which direction to go. And as a student, sometimes you may come to a place where you have assignments after assignments to complete. And now you are very toxic in your mind that you don't know where to begin. Because of this, it's always advised that when you have come to a place like that, begin with one. One is down, and go to the next one, and go to the next one, and talk to teachers, talk to your parents. Don't hide it from, it's okay, they blame you. But again, you have had the courage to disclose it. But you disclose it with limitations. You don't put yourself down. You say, don't have to fake it. Don't have to lie to them that if you happen to be addicted to gaming and that is why you were procrastinating your work, you have to reveal the truth. And then they will say, okay, put off the computer and work on your assignments and we will give you some more time. So don't go behind these deadlines, and don't try to do these things last minute. So I said don't too many times. I think that's not a nice word to hear. So before you come to any of that state, it's best, it's always best that you do what you have to do for the day. When you come from school to home, you don't let things pile up. You don't get into gaming. You don't get into your mobile phone. You begin your homework and you do a perfect job of it. You don't leave the work unfinished. So this is very helpful to live unagitated in your mind, and also being consistent. So take the Carpenter story. The Buddha would have given a story like this. This is a later story, but when in Mangala Sutta about good omens, something auspicious, the Buddha was talking about what things are blessings in life. Mangala, Mangala things in life. It is a Mangala. It is a blessing to have a good work companionship, and you expect it from others. And if you are not giving good work companionship to others, if you don't dedicate your time little extra, if you aren't available to them, if you aren't capable of doing the work that you are supposed to do, then you are bringing your company down. Therefore, if it requires that you need little training, ask it from your boss. I need little training, I need to do better. And if you aren't doing well enough, do some self training, and you will be able to be consistent in the work that you are told to do, because you get a paycheck for doing that work. And if not, there are so many people who may be intending to do the job, but they aren't as qualified as you are. So your dedication um, will bring you the happiness that you can't otherwise, you know, accomplish without having the qualifications. because other people who may not be having qualifications will be dreaming to fulfill this same task that you are missing. So, how does it become a blessing? We need to think about it. Think of yourself as a carpenter. Think about your house. Each and every day you hammer a nail, right? You place a board or you erect a wall. Build it wisely. This is your house that you are building. Nail could be a nail of your, good speech. When you speak nicely, everybody likes you. For you to speak nicely, you have to have good thoughts in your mind. If you have not been thinking good thoughts, there is agitation expressed your mind, and there is no friendliness expressed your mind. There are good ways to say things. If you happen to be in a position as a boss, you need to use this thing called the sandwich theory to criticize somebody. What is the sandwich theory? You have, when you look at a sandwich, you have one slice of bread on top, and then there is another slice below. And in the middle, there are vegetables and stuff, cheese and stuff that you put. So you first go to that person in privately and you compliment them. And then that is the first slice. And then in the middle, you give the cream. You say, if you can focus a little bit about that area, that's enough. And then if they ask further questions and that you don't get agitated, you explain that to them. And then again, you praise the person. So first slice, the second slice, and the third slice. So you need to use that theory in life. This will make your life so easy when you have to give compliments and credits to people as well as to give constructive criticism to them. If you can focus on your presentation area a little bit, if you can focus on your greeting area a little bit, just one thing, not everything. If you are overly agitated when you're giving that advice and directions, they don't receive it well. They close their ears. They will not be receptive to you. This is a bad connection, and this will grow inside of the worker, and eventually it affects your company's progress because then they are biased when they think about the place, the workplace. They may be not supportive inside their mind. So they also they are people who have dignity. When they have their self-worth, we need to help them build it, saying, we can't do this work without you. You have no idea how much I appreciate you working with me. So we are looking at both sides. You doing the job as well as you getting the job done by others. Because life is do it yourself a project. You know, sometimes people realize it late in their life. You are too late when you realize that this life is do it yourself a project. You will be living the life that you are building. So, this brings me to the story again about making uncluttered decisions. And in that decision, if it damaged the little butterfly yet to be, it would have really damaged it for lifetime. And if you had little wisdom and knowledge in making that decision, you would have patiently waited and supported its environment and protected it. And this is also compassionate action. In making compassionate choices, we don't have divisions. But when we make passion, and when so make passion is may not be the best word to use here. When we are thinking about passion, we have choices because we choose people. But in compassion, you don't have choices. You support in every way possible to every being possible and every troubled person possible. That way, you don't have choices. You don't. Your compassionate mind is full of supportive thoughts, looking after others, and caring for others. So make sure your actions are, directed by compassion in your mind, whether you are at school or in workplaces or in your life alone. And compassion brings me to think about my promise in last speech, which is about giving a talk on loving kindness. In the next few minutes, I like to bring friendliness, loving friendliness, into the table and discuss a little bit about it. If you have the Safeguard Recitals chanting book with you, open the Mettani Sansa Sutta. Mettani Sansa. Anisansa means benefits. Metta is this friendliness. When you are a friend to yourself, you are giving yourself good company. And how do you give yourself good company? And you bring this good company to every place, workplace, school, and every place. No, sukhang supati. You sleep well. This is when you give good company to yourself. Sukhang patibujjati. You wake up really well. So this brings me to a professor friend of mine living in Sri Lanka who built a house in a neighborhood, but his other doctor neighbors started reacting too much when they had a little dispute because this my friend's son went and cut a branch that was leaning toward the tree and hitting their car in Sri Lanka. So, but they did the mistake that they didn't ask permission before cutting that small flower branch. So the two families clashed. And when my doctor, my professor and doctor friend called me what to do, and I said, your sleep is worth. Your sleep, waking up peacefully is worth than this road or the house or anything. You can't buy sleep. So for that, you need to have good neighbors. Go acknowledge yourself that, we should be friends. We should be, in harmony, perfect harmony between and among ourselves. We are neighbors. It may be true that we did a mistake and now you are after us, agitated and doing one thing after another, trying to hurt us. Let's not continue doing this. Whatever is ours is yours. Whatever you want from us, feel free to take it. That way, we won't continue this conflict. So, how did that start? It started from your own mind thinking about friendly means of connecting with other people, having good thoughts in your own mind. When you have good thoughts, that is going to be your world. So, waking up and sleeping well, these are priceless things. You can't buy them from anywhere. Na papakang supinam pasati. You aren't going to have any nightmares because of your friendliness in you. You will not be frightened and wake up frightened because you have your mind full of friendliness. Nasa aggiva visangva sattangva kamati. When you had any weapons, fire, visa is poison, venom. When they come to your way, these will not affect you. Nobody will direct a weapon at you. Nobody will burn your house because you don't have enemies. And nobody will put poison to you because you don't have enemies. Friendliness is key in here. Friendly neighbors, you know, being a friend to yourself. And when you are a friend to yourself, you don't have the fire of greed, or fire, weapon, the anger of, weapon, well, sword of anger. You don't have it. You don't have the poison of greediness. So these things also will not be affected because you have control over these things. And then another quality, Manussanam piyohoti. You become friendly to manusa, human beings. Amanussanam piyohoti. You also are cherished by non-human beings like tree deities, flower deities, deities everywhere, house deities, door deities. There are deities everywhere. They will love you. This is a friendly person. This person is adorable, and that way they will like you, and you don't feel frightened about non-humans. They don't feel frightened about you. And Devata Rakkanti, heavenly beings protect you. This is a great quality to have. Heavenly beings watch where you are going, and if in any case you fall into troubles, they will come to rescue you. This is the thing. This is because you are a loving person, friendly person inside of you. Asam mulho kalam karoti. You die without being fooled by your own agitations in your mind. When you die at that moment, because you have friendly attitude, that you are not dying with anger toward anybody, you die peacefully. Uttaring appati vijjanto. If you have not achieved to arahantship or to any better place, Brahma loka upagato hoti, that you will be born in the highest Brahma, highest realm. One of the highest realms is the Brahma realm. You will be rejoicing a great life in Brahma realm because of cultivating friendliness throughout your life. So you see the benefits of uh, loving, uh, loving kindness that you can hold and cultivate in your life. Loving friendliness. Why do we feel cluttered, and why do we bring it to our workplaces and also bring trouble to our life? This is because our thoughts are not pure, thoughts are not friendly. When you are alone, make sure your thoughts are friendly and harm free to yourself, and supportive to your motives. So this friendliness, in the Buddha has talked about it in Dhananjani Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, that you fill your mind with loving friendliness in every direction. You radiate loving kindness to yourself every day. Good morning to myself, that you feel good about yourself. Hello, you are back, and you welcome yourself. You give a bear hug to yourself. You feel like, I give you good thoughts today. I look after you today. I will build the house well today. I will make sure that you have a good future. This is you looking after you. You don't get burnt out when you look after yourself. Trying to get good sleep. That is because you have friendliness. See, this friendliness affects every situation. Carpenter was rushing to finish his work, didn't have the same relationship with the company anymore. He had already given up. This way, he had to live in that house, the poorly built house, in which, unfortunately, was a big lesson he learned at the end of his career. And it's shameful that he did that. His boss knew it. This is this is this is this could have prevented had he been somebody's mic is not mute. So this could have been prevented and supported all throughout, with everybody's support, building the best house again and having the reward of having it built. I guess all this bring us to our conclusion. I can go on, but I think I like to open it for discussion. Thank you. And
Thank
before
you,
that, I had
Banteji.
sent a text to Vivek about 2 weeks ago. If Vivek is here, please call me. I did not get a response. He's the one who invited me to this series, and this will be my last Dhamma talk for a while until I go back and settle in Canada. And after that, I may come back. Thank you.
Yeah, Vanteji, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I did not receive a response.
Oh, I'm in India. I tried to text you.
Oh.
I hope you, but I'll call you back on WhatsApp.
Oh, perfect.
But
Thank you.
I
At
really,
least be safe in India.
yeah, I really like to thank you, Vanteji, for taking this opportunity to be, guest speaker on the Vihara for last 2 months. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure. Any questions?
Vandami Bhante, this is Kranti. I just have a comment. I would like to say thank you for coming on Vihara and giving us Dhamma teachings. So thank you so very much for giving those teachings.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for listening. You know, Sabbadanang Dhammadanang Jinati, giving the gift of Dhamma is the best gift. So the pleasure is all mine.
Vandami Banteji. Yeah, I am Dr. Ullas Chandilkar from Goa, from India, from Goa. Yeah, so it was very, very nice discourse. Thank you very much, Banteji, for this is very meaning, simple way, nice explanation of loving kindness. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for saying that. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Vandami Banteji. Vandami Bante.
I hear you.
I am Rajathan Kumbar from Maharashtra.
It looks like there is a connection issue.
Rajratan ji, I think you're on mute.
I guess we have troubles hearing you. You can send us a comment that we will. Pradeep Mahaleo, I can read it.
Rajratan ji, your voice is breaking. You can put the message or a question in the chat box.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Also, let's take a moment to pray for all the people affected with COVID-19 in India. Particularly, we see really bad news coming every second from our beloved brothers there. And Vivek, be super careful. I know your profession brings you to helping hands, helping people, but be super careful and come back safely. And, loving kindness is much needed there. As you see people being helpless and not knowing any direction to go. In the least case, we could hold them dearly in our heart and sending loving kindness in that direction. So I hope good things happen to them and this dark cloud vanishes, and the light of sun, radiance of sun, support come their way.
Thank you very much, Banteji. It was a wonderful talk. Just to summarize, I would like to recollect. So Banteji talked about, she shared a Carpenter story where moral of the story was uh, building a house is like building a healthy mind through right speech, right actions, right thoughts. He also talked about uncluttered decisions that we make, and then we can make better decisions by wisdom, compassion. He also talked about loving kindness and friendliness, how it is important in our day-to-day life. So thank you very much, Vanteji. It was a wonderful talk, and I congratulate you for moving to Canada for a new journey, and hopefully we'll see you again. And I will definitely reach out to you before you leave the United States. Thank you very much. Really appreciate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pradeep Mahale.
So let's move on to the next session. So today we have a guest speaker, Sujat Ambedkar. Sujat Ambedkar is great grandson of Dr. Ambedkar and grandson of Yashwant Ambedkar. Sujat completed political science degree from Fairviews College, Pune, and also took journalism degree from Asian College of Journalism. Currently, he is based out in London and doing his post-graduation. He has been active in student movement and also supporting Vanchit Bhujan Aghadi. So please welcome Sujat Ambedkar.
Jai Bhim, am I audible?
Yes, Sujat, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm Sujat Ambedkar. I'm currently pursuing my master's in election campaigning and democracy at this university called University of Royal Holloway in London. And I'm extremely happy and honored that you have all called me here and invited here to speak with you all. And it's an honor. Jai Bhim to all of you. Before I begin with my talk, I just want to say something out first. As an Ambedkarite youth or as an Dalit youth, I see Ambedkarite youth in two different categories. The first category would be the people like me who are socially backward but have gotten all the benefits of being financially and educationally forward. We've been gotten access to good education, we've been gotten access to good learned English, and we haven't been deprived of any other sources. But that being said, people like me can be seen in different walks of life, can be seen in different terms of life. We are politically stable, we are assertive, we are vocal, and we are always going to be instrumental about our rights. But moving forward, there's a certain section of our Dalit youth who are struggling for their livelihood, who are struggling for their, like, does anybody want to say anything? I'm sorry.
No, you are not visible. There is something more of a light from your backside. You see?
Oh,
you are
wait.
totally
I'm sorry, sir. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, much better now. Yeah, thanks.
Does this help, sir?
Yeah, very much. Thank you very much.
No problem. I just had to close the curtains. I'm so sorry for that. Yeah. So, there's a certain section of another Ambedkarite youth or Dalit youth who are currently living a battle much stronger than we are fighting. They're currently fighting for their survival. They're struggling for their survival. They're battling out for their livelihood. So, before I begin with anything, I would just like to put an appeal and put an address to all of you all who are in a position better off than much of our brothers and sisters back home. And to help them survive, I would like, with the help of certain people in the group, we would be circulating certain links, certain forms, where those of you are in a position and who want to help certain people who are affected tremendously by the COVID back home can donate and can help generously. So I would just like to put that out before I begin. So before I begin, I just wanted to mention one more thing as well. Although today's topic is called the analysis of current and future development of the Ambedkarite movement, I would like to focus and speak on much more about my ideas for the development and the future of our Ambedkarite movement. Primarily because I am not in a position, nor am I somebody to analyze or criticize the current Ambedkarite movement and those leaders, those karyakartas, those warriors who have fought battles for our livelihood, for our rights, for our survival for ages to come. And that being said, one more thing we must also realize that a bad habit about the Ambedkarite movement or Ambedkarite Karyakartas or Ambedkari Chळवळ has always been our habit of self-retrospection. We have to get out of our habit of self-retrospection and dwell on what we can do and what we must do rather than who has done what wrong in the past. And lastly, as an Ambedkarite youth, I certainly feel that we are the generation who are going to carry the blue flag and the Dhammadhwaj forward. And while carrying that forward, I don't think we should specifically carry forward the baggage of previous movements as well. So, that being said, I think we can all agree on one fact, which is that Ambedkarite youth has always been a strong force and a backbone behind the Ambedkarite movement. And it can be seen from generations to come. The first movement or revolt that you could see by the Ambedkarite youth was the first people who were inspired by Baba Sahib's speeches himself, who read his writings, who heard his preachings, who heard his speeches, who heard him speak, got inspired, believed in him, believed in his thoughts, came back to their villages, came back to their locales, and had to fight their first fight against untouchably and against caste system. Let us not forget that their fight also began at their homes, where certain sections, where certain elder members, where certain senior members of our own community had revolted because they feared there would be a certain violent backlash by the upper castes and the Savarnas against the assertion that our Dalit youth were doing. In the second phase, we could see an generation of Ambedkarite youth enjoying and dwelling on the benefits that were given by the constitution, by the rights that were given by the constitution, and also enjoying the welfare state, which I think is the economic legacy of Baba Sahib Ambedkar's economic policies. But when there were certain adequacies found, there were certain problems found with us getting our rights, with our constitutional rights being fully asserted or given to us, we could see a next form of assertion on the streets of Mumbai in the name of Dalit Panthers. Dalit Panthers were the prime example of Dalit Ambedkarite youth asserting themselves for their rights. But after this era, we could see a small certain fragmentation or a downfall of the Ambedkarite movement for some years. But a few years later, again, when Rohit Vemula was wrongly institutionally murdered in Hyderabad Central University, it was the Ambedkarite youths who made Ambedkarism and the slogan or the Nara of Jai Bhim echo in India again. From starting a fire in Hyderabad University, which spread all over, I think, till 2020, most of the protests, most of the agitations are now being led by a blue flag, a photo of Baba Sahib, and a constitution and a copy of our constitution. This can be seen even in Saharanpur when Yogi Adityanath's government attacked a small locale of Dalit community where the Ambedkarite youth again rallied behind Chandrasekhar Azad and fought back with Yogi. This could again be seen where Ambedkarite youth took and swarmed the streets of Maharashtra and captured Maharashtra against the violence that was caused by Sambhaji Bhide and Milind Ekbote at the Bhima Koregaon, and we could see a large and clear message going through the entire country with these agitations. Lastly, in 2020, when the BJP were planning to roll out the NRC and CAA, we could see our Ambedkarite brothers, our Ambedkarite sisters standing with brothers and sisters from all communities, all religions, with a blue flag, with a photo of Baba Sahib and a copy of constitution in their hand, fighting against NRC, CAA till the last breath, until say protests were legally banned by the BJP with the onset of COVID-19 pandemic. So that being said, I, as a person, strongly believe that this is the right time and the right movement to nurture, invest, and develop in our youth if we want to take our struggle forward and if we want to take the movement forward. As an Ambedkarite youth, I would, and as mostly people who have been associated with Dalits of my age, young Ambedkarites, I think you all must have come with this observation as well, which is that our youth today has become extremely knowledgeable. They are politically aware, they are socially developed, and they are socially mature. We understand finances and economy very well. We understand how the media plays. We can read through propaganda. We are very good at using technology, and we are social media savvy. So that being said, if if the time is right, and if we correctly invest in the youth of the Ambedkarite movement, we have a very strong, significant future, and nobody can stop us there. You can also see a lot of idols. Earlier, most of the prominent Ambedkarite or Dalit faces were political figures or social leaders. Today, you can see our people, our youth, walk, taking up spaces, capturing spaces in different fields, in different walks of life. You can see Paranjit and Nagaraj Manjule leaving a massive mark in the movie industry. You can see, I think most of you all have also worked with people like Penmoy Soundrajan and Raya Sarkar who have left a big mark in the social circles in the USA, and also have spoken out about caste being a huge factor in the US. We have people like Gaurav Somwanshi, who's an blockchain expert, and we also have people like Sumit Samos, who's an internationally acknowledged rapper for rapping on anti-caste tunes. Now, that being said, we have a good chance, we have a good scope, we have the right people to do the right things. All we have to do is take the right measures by coming in together. And I think if we have to discuss the future of and the development of the political movement to come, it should not only be political movement or politics in an isolated bubble. We have to speak about politics or political assertion in terms of social assertion, cultural assertion, financial and economic independence, and media awareness. To begin with, simply put, we have to for a strong political future, be financial and economically independent. We cannot depend on other resources. Our political parties, our karyakartas, our people have to be self-independent, self-sufficient, and the political organizations should have a backing that we can financially depend on. I don't have to say in front of you that the BJP is a as a party is a political success right now because of the financial backings they have developed with the industrial business, with the Savarnas, with the Gujarati Banyas, and the old welfare the old marketplaces that they have captured has helped them become the major financial and political machinery they are. Not to mention that the international funding they have been getting over the years, which they have not mentioned in any election commission books. That being said, as Babasaheb Ambedkar also said, another aspect of freedom is also financial freedom. Your freedom and your ability to decide how free you are will also depend on your purchasing power. Your financial power will also be eligible to dictate or to tell you that yes, I have the purchasing power to buy this, I can buy this, I am able to purchase this, and therefore I am financially free. Moving forward, there's another important aspect that we must not mention, which is cultural assertion. I think since the last 3-4 years, we have been excelling on this front. You can see people like Neeraj Gaiwan, Pa Ranjit releasing beautiful movies. You can see Kabali, Kala movies, which are examples of prime assertion, prime Dalit assertion. You can also see serials on um, or the soap opera type serials which used to come have now been replaced with series on Baba Sahib in Hindi and in Marathi. Not only Dalits, but we can see a certain Bahujan or an OBC assertion there, where we can see different series in Marathi on the different on the Santa Parampara that we have witnessed. We can also see different series such as Jai Mallar, which is specifically made for certain OBC, for certain other backward castes. That being said, I have always mentioned this, and this is one point I will always speak about, because this I have seen firsthand, is the need for independent media. I think we have all seen the casteist face of media multiple times. We have seen them ignore our stories, we have seen them suppress our stories, we've seen them twist our stories, we have even seen them give out false or misreportings on the stories that involve our people. Our successes will be ignored. If there is a crime committed by an ST, SC, or an OBC, it will be over amplified in the media. And there are multiple instances. Let us not forget that Rohit Memula was first declared as an OBC student and was declared as a person who had taken reservation falsely by the same media. Let us also not forget that images from Mumbai were circulated by the national media as images of the Bhima Koregaon riots. And also one important thing is that the media will not cover any positive aspects of a Dalit movement, of Dalit assertion, or of an Ambedkarite gathering. One of my observation was, um, when we were working for the Vanchit Bahujan Agadi during the 2019 general election, the Lok Sabha election, and the Vidhan Sabha election, what we realized was, even if we have rallies which draw a crowd of 3 lakh people, 4 lakh people, 5 lakh people, and certain other parties will have rallies of half that, they'll give more coverage. Vanchit Bahujan Agadi would not exist, or will only exist because they cut Congress's votes. And when we launched our own channel, when we launched Prabuddha Bharat as a media house of our own people, and we launched it in a digital version where we started digitalizing all the rallies, all the sabhas, all the prachar sabhas of Vanchit Bahujan Agadi, when we started live broadcasting them, when we started live telecasting them on Facebook, we realized that a person from a different district realized that there are about 4 lakh, 5 lakh Ambedkarite people gathering in a different district. And that, let me tell you, is one sense of strength and belongingness that is unparalleled. Coming to my last topic, political development is not only political in nature when it comes to the Ambedkarite movement. It has to be social. I know this can be an unsavory topic, but I cannot go forward without mentioning this. We have to widen our bases. We have to widen our bases in the sense we have to embrace the word Bahujan as the way Tathagat Gautam Buddha envisioned it. We have to form a larger alliances as only as Mahars, as Buddhists, as Valmikis, as Charmakars, as Chamars, as Malas, as Madigas, as Matangs. We are not electorally significant. If we want to be electorally significant, if we want to leave a political impact, we have to come together. We have to form a larger alliances of SCs, STs, OBCs, LGBTQ communities, transgenders, and all other deprived, depressed, oppressed, suppressed masses, Vanchit, Soshit, all of them together. That is why when the Vanchit Bahujan Agadi was formed, there was one slogan that came in very strong, which said, Sare Vanchit Ek Ho, Satta Apne Hati Gyo, which legitimately means all the depressed, all the deprived, all the oppressed come together and we'll take the power in our hands. And that being said, I have to end my topic on one thing, that we have always been called the alternative, Pariyai option, subaltern, depressed, deprived. But it's time, I think, that we challenge and we call ourselves the mainstream. Thank you. Jai Bhim. Sir, you're on mute. Pradeep, sir, you're on mute.
Thank you, Sujat. Thank you, Sujat, for a wonderful talk. It's really nice to hear you and your views. Let's move on. So if anybody has any question, please go ahead and ask now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Is there any question?
Sujat, can you repeat? Sujat, thank you so much for coming on the online Vihara. Can you repeat your last word? That was very inspiring. I missed that last word when you were ending your speech.
Oh, so what I said is for a long time, whenever an Ambedkarite party or whenever a Bahujan alternative comes up, we'll always looked as the third option. We are looked upon as an alternative. In Marathi, we are looked upon as a paryay.
Okay.
We have been called the depressed masses, oppressed masses, vanchit, or even the subaltern. But
Okay.
I think, ma'am, it's time that we assert ourselves and establish amongst ourselves and to the world that we are the mainstream.
Okay, thank you so much. Very, very good, very inspiring. Thank you, Sujat.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Vishwanath, please go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sujat, for giving us such a wonderful thoughts. And I was really awaiting for you to come here and give us that presentation which you are giving. I'm really glad I'm talking to you right now. I'm from Kolhapur. And Sujat, I would like to first of all thank you to Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi. The Balasaheb Ambedkar took a tremendous effort to take us, our Ambedkar's people, to up to that level, because no such a party in Maharashtra I would have seen that come up to that level and that taken that much vote. And I'm really glad the way Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi, everybody contributed for Ambedkarite movements to come up to that level. So from my side, a small question. So how you are taken the previous history? So and the previous history of Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi, I would say that is a victory for us, though I can imagine nobody was a winner, but that's a big victory for Ambedkar's people to get that much vote, collecting or accumulating that much vote, which was never been possible in our history. So how you are taking that movement of Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi up to the next level? So what is what is your vision? So how our leadership working on that to again get a big victory in future? That's my question.
I am to answer your question. I'll come to your answer, but just before I answer to the question, I'll apologize to all the non-Maharashtrian in the house because this might get slightly narrow, but please bear with me. So, sir, thank you so much for your question. To answer your question, yes, indeed, Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi has been a victory for all of us. And I'll tell you one thing, that Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi, rather than a formation of a party, we look at it more as an experiment on the lines of social engineering. And social engineering cannot take place in elections 6 months apart from each other. Social engineering is a lifelong process which will take a lot of effort and a lot of time for the substantial change to take place. But that being said, if you want me to give you short-term examples of Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi's success, I think beside Kolhapur, there is Hingoli and Wasmat. Let me take the example of Hingoli as well. Hingoli was where Alamgir Khan was contesting, a Muslim candidate. And for the first time, I think in Maharashtra, a Muslim candidate got over 150,000 votes from an Ambedkarite party's ticket. That, according to me, is a victory. Going forward, going into the Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi's formation, there was a small reverse engineering that was taken place. There was a slight change in the slogan of Bahujan politics also. The slogan of Bahujan politics changed from जिसकी जितनी संख्या भारी उसकी उतनी भागीदारी to अगर फिर भी ना हो संख्या भारी फिर भी मिलेगी भागीदारी, which basically means that there are certain small sections of the society which don't even have 5,000 or 6,000 votes. But will they not get political reservation? Of course they will get political reservation. But the real victory of Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi comes when somebody from a VJNT community, Bhatke Vimukta Jati, say a Kaikadi, who doesn't even have a 6,000 or 7,000 voting of his own caste in his own constituency, gets about 2 lakh votes for Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi. That for me encapsulates the victory of Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi. And coming forward to your question directly, sir, building a party is a very, very large process. There needs to be a very strong party machinery. There needs to be clear clarifications. There need to be a strong top-down model within the party, and the party machinery has to have worked for some time to be well-oiled and perform in the elections. Our agenda was to make an impact and to tell the mainstream that you are no longer the mainstream, your position is in danger, and I think we have successfully done that so far.
Definitely agree. Yeah, definitely. And for even me as a person, what I see, that's a great success. Why? Because it doesn't matter to you and me if 3-4 candidates gets a big victory, but our voting has shown to everybody that the Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi is such a right now such a party who is really overcoming others, and they cannot suppress us right now. So I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, just answering that statistically, we had 9 seats in the Lok Sabha and 21 seats in the Vidhan Sabha, which came on second place.
Wow.
And more than that, we got 7.29 votes in a percentage of the total votes polled in Lok Sabha election. If we would have just got more 0.7%, we would have been a registered mainstream party today.
Wow. Wow. That's a great achievement. Thank you so much. I'm really hopeful with the Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi one and with your leadership in future.
Sir, with your support, we'll fight together.
Thank you.
Jai Bhim, Namo Buddhaya. I am Rajratan Kumar from Nagpur. Can you share your mobile number or email? Sujat
Yes, sir. I'll
Ambedkar.
share both. I'll share both, sir. I'll share both.
Please. Thanks very much.
No problem, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, Sujat. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. You're very well spoken. It's very reassuring to hear that. So I guess my question is, I was born and raised in Nagpur, and while growing up, I saw a lot of different Dalit parties, let's say Baspa and Republican Party, and a lot of independent candidates. They were sort of running in all different direction. And I guess that could have been one reason why we were lagging behind when it comes to, number of candidates sending into parliament or Maharashtra State Assembly. So I guess my question is, what are your thoughts on bringing unity on the political front? That means, bringing people from BSP or Republican Party of India, or even independent Dalit candidates who have a political aspiration, bringing them all together in one single umbrella.
So I have a slightly pointed answer to this, if you don't mind, sir.
Yeah, absolutely, no worries. Again, I don't have any specific answer in my mind. I just want to hear your thoughts on this topic, because my grandfather used to say this a lot. Like a lot of different Dalit parties are running in a different direction.
I have been asked this question multiple times in a press conference, and this is how I would answer it. So why isn't this question asked to Brahmins? Brahmins run Congress, Brahmins run CPI, Congress run CPIM, Brahmins run DMK, Brahmins run AIDMK, Brahmins run BJP, Brahmins run almost all parties in India. Why aren't they asked the questions? Why is the onus on Dalits, Ambedkarites to be one unit? Do we not have an ideology of our own? Do we not have thought process on our own? And the different parties who have formed their own parties, I do not want to deprive them of their rights to be a different political organization. Am I understood here?
So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we cannot, nobody expects Brahmins to have one Brahmin Mahasangha. They will have Congress, BJP, CPI, CPM, and all the Bhadraloki organizations. But a fraction within the Ambedkarite or the RPI will affect everybody. And that, I think, thought process is a little casteist in itself. But moving on, if you want to see, there are about 150 more than registered Ambedkarite parties in Maharashtra. And moving forward, post the emergence of VBA, they have all been electorally significant, or most of them have even declared open support to VBA during elections. Now, my thing is, we are Ambedkarite, and Ambedkarism, as we have all seen, has had its different interpretations and sub-ideologies amongst itself. Now, it will be unfair on everybody to expect all the Ambedkarite leaders to have one common agenda and ideology and come together and work. As given by Constitution, and as we are a multi-party system, we have our rights to form our different organizations and parties, and different leaders have the rights to form their own organizations. But I think in the last election, Maharashtra has understood which is the electorally significant option and has voted accordingly. And that is all I want. Thank you.
Thank you for the response. Well said.
Hello.
Thank you, Ash. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Jebim to Sujat sir. I am Dr. Ullas Chandelkar from Goa, your neighboring state, a small state in India. So Jebim.
Doctor.
Yeah. So actually, I am actually working in Goa Medical College, the first Buddhist doctor from Goa. So first of all, yeah, thank you very much. First of all, congratulations to you. And actually, I see a great hope for our future generation from your side. And it was a good, thought-provoking, inspirational talk. And I fully agree with you that we need to extend our basis, because there are so many times I've been working in Goa for last 25 years in social field. Basically, I work in areas of education and social, and now actually we form a trust, and we are actually trying to develop a Sanskar Kendra, which will give Sanskar to our young kids up to higher education. And I have actually coined a new word, a social literacy, meaning there are so many people learned in our community, but they have forgot their role, because whatever we have got from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, we have kept within ourselves. We are not actually extending, or we are not actually passing on to our younger generation or future generation. So I'm very much actually thankful to you, and I really hope that we need to work on this so that we can pass on this all the legacy, all the facility what we got because of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar to a younger generation. And there are so many times I see that we work within our community or sub-community rather. So as you have rightly pointed, I think we need to extend our basis. We have tried to try to actually get along with us SCs and OBCs, and unless we make them realize, I've already started working on it. We had actually just 2 years back, we had actually one workshop on reservation where I have included STs. And now actually I am actually in contact with some OBCs people in Goa and youngster in Goa, so that we can actually tell what Babasaheb actually did for the entire country, for SC, STs, OBC. Unless I think we work on this, I think we will not actually get that success. As you have rightly said, to be electorally to be significant, we need to extend our basis. We need to actually get these people together. Then only we can actually get our rights and all. And we can actually stop all the injustice that happen from time to time to our communities. Thank you very much, and I really actually congratulate, and actually I wish you all the best for your future. And I see as a young leader who can lead like Babasaheb because the way you speak, really we get that some videos we have seen, the way you project, the way you put up the thing, the way you have actually put for all the these various issues. Thank you very much.
Professor J.V. Jagannathji, please go ahead, ask your question.
Let me congratulate Suja. Namo Bodhaya. I have only one observation on you. Yesterday we had a wonderful webinar wherein who are Shudras were discussed. The summary was, unless you have spiritual, cultural, political economy agenda, you will not be able to go further. In fact, the professor was so keen, even the Ambedkar thoughts had some limitations. Because towards the end only, Ambedkar could come to Buddhism. See, my question is this. You mentioned social engineering, fine. When I was like you as a student, I was participating in the Dalit Sanghar Samiti in Karnataka, where the Belchi and massacre, was taking place. Now we have the stray incidents of rape and all. That time they used to burn the villages. Belchi. I remember as a high school student, I used to go. What I want to conclude by saying is, you're in London, the whole of Europe is burning. The issue is climate action. The whole of world is struggling with pandemic, which is nothing but a manipulation of technological abuse. If a computer virus is found, what they will do? They'll catch hold of the person who perpetuated the virus and get the antidote. Now the antidote person is not there, he's dead in China. And millions of people were dying. Now what I want to conclusively say, as a leader of our future Dalits I mean all over the world, unless you have this spiritual, cultural, political economy agenda, you rightly said, why should we bring all the different groups? I don't agree with that. You agree? I fully agree with you because, see, it is the issues which bulldoze the bubble-like organizations. Now we are having mushroom political parties. You see, even money is being collected in the name of Buddha, in the name of Ambedkar, all over the world. So, conclusively, my question is this: unless you have a vision of spiritual dimension, political, economy, and cultural, a leadership cannot be given. Please think over this. Why don't you look at this direction also? That will be a great, great, great benefit. I'm Professor V. Jagannatha, a space scientist. I look at the Earth problems now. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next question is from Sumit. Sumit, please go ahead.
Jai Bhim, Sujat.
Jai Bhim.
I don't know if you remember me. I was one of the principal consultants of Mr. Vesi when VB and MM was in alliance in Maharashtra.
Had we met in Solapur?
Yeah, we did, and we also talked over the phone.
Yeah.
Quite some time. So I have a very I have a political question for you. Political reservations is a debated and political divisive policy in India. And there have been a lot of arguments for and against it. And there was a statement back in 2018 from Bala Sahab demanding scrapping the political reservations in India. And I just wanted to know your take on it, because there have been different literature written for and against the idea, against the policy of political reservation in India. But what's your take on it?
So, my firm take on this is, as Baba Sahib had earlier written, political reservations can be done away, but without touching economic or educational reservations one bit. There can be further discussions, debates, polemics about reservation in politics, and with further data, like you cannot, but one thing is clear, that educational and economic reservation cannot be touched. But that being said, we can discuss, like there can be debates, there can be committees formed, there can be studies done on which community gets how much representation, does it require that much reservation. There are new discourses coming into play, like if due to certain changes, certain laws, if there is reservation demands for transgenders, from people from the LGBT community, if India becomes a global country and there are further reservations made down the line for race, that can be accommodated, but without exclusively touching the priority.
Okay.
Does that make sense, sir?
Yeah, somewhat.
Right. Anybody has any other question? Please go ahead.
There are a few questions posted on the chat. Can you please read them?
From where should I go?
So this is Anil Wagde. I had a question regarding the Bhima Koregaon people who are in the jail, including Professor Anand Teltumde. Any progress? Now it's more than a year that he's in the jail. Any progress? Anything you can share?
Sir, all the attempts are being made. Like the lawyers, the family, everybody's been fighting relentlessly, but there's been, to be honest, there were certain hopes when there was a shift in government in Maharashtra, but this government is as disruptive and destructive as the previous one. I'm sorry to say that, but everything is being tried. And the two people who got bail recently were released because their medical conditions were extremely critical. And that is all I can say for now. Sorry.
All right. So next question is from Tupti. You mentioned that young generation are taking this caravan, but they divert it soon. How to keep them focused?
I didn't get you when by the diverted part. Ma'am?
Trupti, go ahead. You can ask your question.
Yeah. Sujat, this is Mahesh Vasnik, and I asked the question. And my question was, you talk about the Rohit Vimula thing, you talk about other movement, and people are just taking the one movement and just they get diverted. Bhima Korega was also one of the movement. Right now, the people are going towards the Azad party, like the Chandrasekhar. So people are just staying here, then they jump from here to there, So they don't get focus on one channel. So, and now Vanchit Agadi came, they again forgot the previous party, they again focus on the Vanchit. So, the people are jumping, and our young generation are trying to, not focus on one thing. So what is your thought on that?
Sir, I still didn't get your question. I didn't understand your question one bit.
Okay. I guess he's trying to say that there's no united front and we don't have a common agenda because our people seems to be jumping from one party to another.
I would say that assumption is completely false. People are not jumping from one party to another. These are parties who are existing in different states. So the people from that particular state follow that party.
Yeah. My assumption was, for example, we link with the BSP before. Before that, we link with the RPI. Now we are linking with the Vanchit Agadi. Now the next election, something might be formed. So we are kind of jumping from one to another, but nothing concrete is happening. That's what I'm seeing in my lifetime.
I am sorry to disagree with you, but I would say the BSP was something concrete. What Manyavar Kanchiram made was something concrete. Mayawati being elected twice as the CM was something concrete. BBA getting 8% of the votes was something concrete. And we have to stand by our leaders and keep supporting them until or unless nothing will happen. Or my another question to you, sir, is people shifting from RPI to BSP to Azad to BBA, is it still not better than people shifting from RPI to NCP to Congress to NCP to CPI to BJP?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. A good point. Yeah, thank you.
This is Anil again. In the previous elections, or even before that, there is a good promise of Dalit Muslim Aghadi. While there could be divergence of views, the way that unity was broken didn't leave good taste in the general people.
Okay. I think Sumit and I would have differences of opinions here, but
I'm a Dalit myself. Though I was working for the party, I was one of the chief strategists of Mr. Owaisi. There were points that I would disagree.
So let me comment by the point we would firstly agree on. While there was a massive transfer of votes from the BBA to the MIM, there wasn't any reciprocal. I think, Sumit, would you agree on this?
Yeah, absolutely correct.
And going forward, there was another problem was there was no direct communication between Barrister Owaisi and Advocate Prakash Ambedkar. The problem here was Barrister Owaisi put the powers in the hand of a person who did not want the alliance to happen himself. And that is why you could see horrible statements, then our spokespersons retorting to the statements, and that leaving a bad taste in general. Had Barrister Owaisi himself overlooked and taken the channel of communications in his hand and spoken to Prakash Ambedkar himself, things would have been completely different.
Yeah, I think I would have to agree with Sujat.
Thank you, sir.
But then, sorry to kind of drag this further, but this is the perpetual challenge that we have. Our votes get transferred en bloc, whereas others do not want to vote to Dalit, scheduled caste, whatever we want to call them. And this is a challenge anywhere. Even in UP, BSP has a solid vote bank of 20%, but that 20% remains stuck. It happened by a magic, maybe, I do not know, when Brahmins transferred their votes and BSP formed a government. But it hasn't happened apart from that one incident.
Sir, this is not an isolated phenomenon with caste. This has been happening all over in India previously, and this has happened all over the world also. So if you Google this thing called the Mayer-Brady effect, it speaks about an effect where the black votes used to transfer to a Democratic candidate in USA, but when a black Democratic candidate was fielded by the Democrats, the white Democratic votes did not see any harm in going to the Republicans. And I think this is the same process that India is going through, that the caste discourse is going through, and it will take time. I think the first time that the Tom Brady effect was broken was when President Obama was elected for the first time. And I'm sure we will see that too in India too.
Thank you. We certainly hope that.
Thank you so much.
I think we're already seeing that effect in Panchayat elections, Mr. Anil. In some areas, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, but Sumit sir, Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha canvas would be too big to map that graph. I'm sure you're
aware. Yeah. Of course.
In some sense, the electoral reforms that the first past the post, as they call it, that itself does not give us a proper representation. We are, let's say, 14% if we only talk about scheduled caste. But then that 14% being the minority with other 85%, we do not get our representation. And like that slogan of "Jiski jitni sankhya bhari uski utni." How do we get that? And there are some places where such a electoral college exists, wherein in proportion to the population you get a representation. But India, with first past the post system, we are not able to get.
No, sir, it's a combination of many things. Like, if it was first past the post system, I don't think Nagpur should have any but a Buddhist candidate as their Lok Sabha candidate till now. For example, Buddhist population in Nagpur is about 5,60,000 or something, and Nitin Gadkari wins every election with like 4 lakh votes. That being said, it's just a time of setting up party machinery, spreading awareness, getting people educated, and when elections come, working all the three together.
So, Sujat, this is Pankaj here. Yeah, Jai Bhim, yeah. I had a follow-up. So we do see that in a political process, our processes do not work as efficiently as we want? Is it because we kind of try to put them together very close to the election and do not put in as much effort during the whole time, or like we would try to put in efforts at the whole time, but during election there are other forces that kind of influence it and the equation kind of falters? What is the process that happens here?
Sir, it's a combination of all the things you've said in varying quantities. Like multiple things happen, many things happen, you can't predict them. Apart from BSP and until BBA, we've never had a party machinery that strong that could capitalize. We prepare too close to the elections. There is massive amount of money and funds we cannot match. Multiple things that happen.
Okay, now, so I mean, I would say, like, is there an approach, like, instead of concentrating all 48, say for Lok Sabha, we pick and choose 3, maybe we pick and choose 5, maybe we pick and choose 7, some smaller number of constituencies, and we say we're gonna work all year round on that one, or whatever amount of time, and see if we can get different result than what we have been getting so far.
Sir, that has been tried. We can try that. That is definitely a model that should be tried no matter what. But that just gives time to the opposition also to put their pieces in place, no?
Yeah, that will be always there, right? This is politics. Nobody is staying idle, right? Yeah.
Also, the thing is, like, the advantage of concentrating on all 48 was that we wanted a party symbol, which 8% would get. You can't aim for 8% only by fighting 3 seats seriously.
Okay, yeah, get that. Yeah, so there is different strategies involved that way.
Multiple strategies for multiple things, sir.
Okay.
One thought, and it might not be exactly on the electoral politics. Instead of fighting elections, we go in alliance with someone, and through the Vidhan Parishad route, we actually ask them to get good ministerial post, saying that, it is difficult for us to win the elections per se, given the dynamics that people do not vote for our candidates and so on, despite our joint whatever. But why don't we kind of get to the ministerial post?
Say to this, sir. I hope I develop the trust you have in the mainstream parties.
I know. Okay, I want to change the
I don't
focus a
trust
little
them
from
one
India.
bit.
Yeah, I know. So I just wanted to throw it out there. I wanted to change the focus from India to US. So currently there is a Cisco case, and I'm sure you are following. Any guidance, any thought process, anything that we can do here, the Indian Ambedkarite diaspora?
Sorry, sir, which case?
The Cisco caste discrimination case in California, which is in the California court right now.
Yes. Sir, to be very honest, I don't have like a suggestion to give at the moment, but I can, if you want, I can talk to multiple people, get advice, and get back immediately.
No, so
because I am not aware of the laws and what can be done. Also, the situation there.
Yeah. The caste is becoming kind of increasingly kind of vocal, given the Indians who are getting into the Biden administration. There is a constant vigil, so to say, that the Indians who are getting into Biden administration are not having RSS links and so on. And therefore, it is important for us to keep looking at how the Indian diaspora is behaving, whether the casteist elements, the RSS elements are raising their head, joining the US government and so on, because it will have a huge repercussions to back in India. So in that sense, if there are things that we can do, and if there are suggestions that we can kind of work on, all of us are trying to kind of, including ANA, AIM, AIC, and all other Ambedkarite organizations are, we filed jointly, we filed amicus brief in the California court as well. So any directions, any collaboration, any thought process, that would really help.
Give me a day, I'll get back to you on this.
Thank you.
So anybody has any last question?
Right. You said Manish. I have one question. Jai Bhim, sir.
Jai Bhim, sir.
This is Manish Ramanthar. I'm from Kalyan, Kalyan. And yeah, first of all, congratulations for the success of PBA. Like when I'm talking to my friend in Kalyan, Badlapur, and those areas, and they're saying like, yeah, we are considering PBA team. Like like now they are faith on the part one of the party now. So congratulations for that. My question is regarding the digital platform. Like, what's our plan for the way like BJP IT cell is there? They have a mass. Like they have the channel to reach their people faster way. What are our plan? Like how we can tap those things? Because nowadays,
So I think some of the people in this chat have been aware and have been associated with the VBA IT cell earlier. VBA has a full-fledged 24/7 working IT cell. I used to work for it earlier. Now it's headed by this guy called Jeetratna Patai.
Okay.
So as BJP goes, we cannot expand the IT cell to that level. And also, this being a public forum, I cannot discuss the details of our IT cell fully.
Sure.
But it exists and it does all the functions that it should. That is all I can say.
I can understand. Like yeah, that is my like that's what I need to understand. Like because
so
nowadays,
basically, please go and follow Prabuddha Bharat and Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi, all social medias, their websites, and you'll be able to get all our updates.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm looking at because nowadays BJP IT cells are sharing so many false news also. So we don't want to go on that channel. But yeah, what I mean to say, like,
IT cell is something different. They've got like 10 lakh people just to call Rahul Gandhi a pappu every day. We cannot match that. We don't want to match that also.
And we don't want to, yeah, that one. Like false thing will be false someday. Like the things happening now, like a lot of like again, I don't want to go on that discussion, like the political discussion. But what I mean to say, like sharing the right information, positive information, and connecting with our people. That is what I'm trying to understand.
Exactly,
Not like sharing wrong information. Yeah, like sharing wrong information, and then next year people are laughing on us. They see these guys are sharing wrong information. Like what now happening with BJP things. Like they're sharing so many false things, and now they are into their own trap. So I don't mean to say like we are doing that way, but what I mean to say, the presence in the media, presence in the digital channel. That's what I mean to say. Like how we can, and there we can do need to spend a lot of money, but we can try to reach mass of our people. That's in that direction. I'm trying to understand like how we just plan out.
Yeah, maybe lastly, this is Vishwanath again here. Lastly, I would like to say maybe because many people criticize to the party, that's we have seen in the history, but we should look forward to the leadership qualities. The leadership, the VBA already have proved that, right? And the VBA always fought on the foundation of truth, on the truth facts, not on the lies and the false things, right? So we should accept those things. We should appreciate those things. And as a Ambedkarites, as a and Ambedkar contributor, I think we should analyze instead of criticizing. We should grow that leadership, because leadership, it's growing leadership. It's not easy basically, and we have seen the leadership in right now in the form of Barasai, in the form of Sujat maybe. And I think I would like to appeal everybody to let's grow these qualities, and so we can see the hopeful and the growth in future that we are everybody we are right now seeing or expecting. We can definitely see that future soon. Thank you. That's what I just wanted to tell.
Right. Next question is from Manoj Shambarkar. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Sujat Jai. I really appreciate your clarity of thought, and the progress VBA made is a very tremendous progress, particularly in Maharashtra. In some of these districts, it was awesome. My question is, and this question maybe there in many people's mind, is that many of our organizations have failed or got disintegrated because there was no second line in command, and you can choose not to answer that. We have seen BSP after Kanshiramji Mayawati took over. After Mayawati, we don't see any successor. Similarly, Prakash Ambedkar ji has been such a stalwart and a very high personality. Not sure for VBA, is there any second line in command or is in works? we'll see
Yeah,
some new generation coming up?
No, sir, I will of course choose to answer this. Yeah, the VB has a second line of command. And just to put it out there, I am nowhere in near it, nowhere in life. The second command, the three people who are after Balasaheb Ambedkar in VBA. First is the chairperson of our Mahila Agadi, Rekhatai Thakur, who's been a big figure in the Ambedkarite movement and in the Mahila Charwal in Maharashtra since a long, long time. Those who are from Maharashtra will definitely know her. And she's been with us since the formation of Bharik Bahujan Mahasangha and Vanchit Bahujan Agadi. Then there is former ACP Vanzari. He was the ACP of Mumbai and he's a lawyer and a very brilliant person. And the third person is former Vice Chancellor Dr. Arun Sawant. So this is the line of command after Balasaheb, and then there is a multiple chain of people who come in a pyramid order. So while VBA was formed to not repeat the mistakes, we have set in place a line of command, a chain of command, which goes in a pyramid order so that there is no leadership toppling place. I can share the profiles also if need be.
Thank you.
Next question is from Obaid. Please go ahead, ask your question.
Ka Sujat Raje, Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim, Dada.
No, I don't have question, but I do agree with you on that when you spoke about cultural part. The culture is theirs, and there's the culture. This Kejriwal also that Hanuman and all that, and the Modi is also that Hanuman and culture and all. Even the Congress is talking about the Hanuman and Ram and all everything. Where is our culture? So that is the problem. And our people, our leader follow their culture and they plagiarize their culture and they want to do some jugaad and all. So unless and until we own our culture, even Balasaheb becomes the Prime Minister of India, nothing can be solved. Our issues remain with us. That's what my point is. Even Mayawati becomes Prime Minister, our issues cannot be solved unless and until we own our own culture. So I agree with that. I echo you, Sujat, and my best wishes are with you. And I hope family is doing good. How is Balasaheb and all? So I'm concerned about people of this COVID and this tragedy, and this is terrible. And so I wish you all the best, and brilliant, like all the best in your studies and all. I hope and I hope you study well, do your research and finish your research and come back to India, and we'll boost up social engineering. What the ideas are, let's see how can we work together in the near future. Okay, all the best. Jai Bhim. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Jai Bhim.
Thank you. Next question is from Professor JV again. Please go ahead.
Time actually, Suja, I wanted to mention to you one important thing. You referred the American context, you see.
Yes.
Now, what I wanted to tell you was this. Just 30 seconds I will take. 1972, Earth Day movement started. It was only 2 million people on the streets. 1972. Now it is 1 billion people all over the world. So the real Dalits, for example, the whole of Maharashtra will be affected because Mumbai is endangered by 2030. Likewise, 100 million people living in the coastal areas. So I request all the Dalit politicians, especially the younger generation, to look at these global issues: climate change, disasters, and pandemic. If you go back, you will not be doing justice to Ambedkar or Buddha. Just I wanted to share, and you are in the right direction. I'm very happy.
I completely agree with you.
Research bent of mind and the social engineering and mindfulness. See, I am of the one culture. SC to me is scientific temperament. ST is scientific temperament. SC is social commitment. If you just look at the social SC and ST as per se, we are nowhere. It should be social commitment for SC and scientific temperament for ST. Thank you very much. It was a good learning experience from a young person. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. So I think we'll just take last question if anybody has it. All right, then.
May I ask one question?
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so actually I came here at first time and very nice. I was not aware that any such communications are going on this front. So it's all very nice. I was just listening. One more thing I wanted to highlight that maybe in the next meeting I would like to come again and ask my question. For now, I think I would stay back. But
No,
so
please go ahead, sir.
So actually, I think everybody is talking about the collab. I think there is a collaboration that is lacking that I see. For example, if Chandrasekhar Azad, for example, he is working on, but he is not well coordinated among all the Dalit groups and all the Bahujan community that all other movements are going on. So I think he should also be taken along, and there should be, because we seems fragmented, and if we are fragmented, probably we will not be able to fight, even if some of the group are stronger. We have to take all the smaller groups together all across the India, in South India or Maharashtra or North India. So I think there are some divide that actually exist. That divide need to be crossed, and so there should be a sense of sharing, and a common goal should be in the mind. So that's what I wanted to highlight. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree, sir.
All right, so we can conclude today's session. So today is also end of the month. So this is also end of the Ambedkar Jayanti month. So we will continue next week, next Sunday, and I guess next month is a Vesak Day month. So maybe it will be a Vesak Day month celebration. So thank you everyone for joining today, and thank you Sujat for a wonderful talk and sharing all the information. It was and answering all the questions that everyone had. I thank Professor Bhante Kusala for joining and giving a wonderful talk. I would like to also thank Kunjal Modak for a wonderful story. So thank you everyone
Just
for
one
joining.
thing, I just want to say thank you to Sujat, because he also, not only he studies, he also has a job and Sunday is little crucial for him. Sujat, thank you very much for heeding to our request and joining this. And we are hoping for more interactions with you in future, more online viharas so with you, because there are so many things to talk. We'll definitely come back to you in future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for having me over. It was a complete honor speaking to you. Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
See you next Sunday. Bye everyone.